When you decide to fight for a relationship, you have to commit with everything you have. That's what I told myself after our heart-wrenching conversation. No half measures, no, let's see how it goes. If Oliver and I were going to make this work, we needed to rebuild our connection one brick at a time. And for the first time in a while, I felt ready to try. We started small. It was Oliver's idea to have weekly date nights, something I initially dismissed as too routine.
We'll make them fun.
He promised, his earnestness softening my skepticism. And to his credit, he delivered. One Friday, he surprised me with tickets to an experimental theater show that blended live music, spoken word, and interpretive dance. It was weird and wonderful, the kind of experience that lit up my Gemini brain like a firework. I didn't think you'd go for something this unconventional, I said afterward as we walked home under the city lights. He shrugged, a small smile tugging at his lips.
I figured it was time to try things your way for a change.
His effort didn't go unnoticed. The fact that he was willing to step out of his comfort zone for me reminded me of why I fell for him in the first place. And in return, I found myself leaning into his world more. I joined him for a morning hike, an activity I usually avoided in favor of sleeping in. And while the steep trails left me gasping for air, the sunrise at the summit was breathtaking.
I told you it was worth it,
he said, his eyes crinkling with satisfaction as I took in the view. Okay, fine, I admitted, leaning against him. You win this round. It wasn't always smooth sailing, though. One night, during what was supposed to be a relaxing movie marathon, we ended up arguing about something trivial, whether to watch a documentary or a rom-com. It started as playful teasing, but quickly escalated into frustration.
Why does everything have to be so complicated with you?
He asked, exasperated. Because I don't want to settle for boring, I snapped back, instantly regretting the harshness in my tone. The room fell silent, tension crackling in the air. I could see the hurt in his eyes, and it mirrored the guilt I felt in my chest. I didn't mean that, I said softly, reaching for his hand. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying so hard to keep things exciting, and it's exhausting. He sighed, his expression softening.
I'm not asking you to do all the work, Fiona, but we have to meet each other halfway. That's the only way this will work.
And he was right. It couldn't just be one of us bending, compromising, adapting. We had to find a balance that felt good for both of us. It wasn't easy, but we were learning. One of the most meaningful moments came during a cooking class we took together. It was something we'd agreed on as a neutral activity. Low stakes, no pressure, just fun. As we fumbled our way through making handmade pasta, flour dusting our clothes, and laughter filling the air, I realized how much I'd missed this version of us. Lighthearted, connected, and fully present in the moment. You're getting flour everywhere, I teased as Oliver struggled to knead the dough. He smirked, tossing a pinch of flour in my direction.
Consider it my artistic touch.
I gasped, grabbing a handful of flour and throwing it back at him. Soon we were in a full-blown flour fight, laughing so hard I could barely stand. By the end of it, we were both covered in white powder, but I didn't care. For the first time in a long time, I felt like we were truly a team again. As the weeks went on, those little moments began to stack up, forming a foundation stronger than what we'd had before. It wasn't perfect. We still had our disagreements, our moments of doubt. But there was a renewed sense of partnership. We were learning to embrace each other's differences rather than seeing them as obstacles. One night, as we sat on the couch planning our next date, Oliver turned to me and said,
Do you think we're getting better at this?
I smiled, leaning my head on his shoulder. Yeah, I think we are. And I meant it. For the first time in what felt like forever, I wasn't consumed by restlessness or fear. I felt grounded, not in a way that stifled me, but in a way that allowed me to flourish. Oliver wasn't holding me back. He was anchoring me while I explored the world around me. And in return, I was helping him see that life could be more than just a series of plans and routines. This wasn't the end of our story, but it was a turning point. We still had so much to figure out, so much to navigate. But as I looked at Oliver, his face lit by the glow of the lamp, I knew one thing for certain. We were in this together, and that was enough.